Well, welcome back to Stuart Arts. Today we're going to make this lidded box, Airplane Boy I call him, and this is made from a piece of wood that I found on the side of the road. It's a green branch that was cut off of a fallen tree, and it's a good solid wood. It turned out to be a good material. The inspiration for this, well, I've got a 5-month-old grandson, and I thought I'd make a few things that are kind of indestructible, colorful, maybe appealing to a little person. I named this guy Airplane Boy because of his nifty propeller. I'm not sure that that's the best name for him. As you watch this video, if you can think of a better name, I sure appreciate it if you'd leave me a comment. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy this video. Yeah, I don't know what kind of wood this is. It smells like wine or something. It's very aromatic. I just turned this into a cylinder and I let it sit for about 6 weeks. It's a little checky on the ends here. I probably didn't do a very good job of drying it out. I've had it in the back of my head that I wanted to do a thing that I'm calling a mug jug here. So, so I'm just going to turn this as a 2-part piece here. The bottom will be the head and the neck, and the top will be the little hat. And then I'm going to make a little propeller that can be spun. Don't know what I'm going to make the propeller out of. I might make it out of metal. Don't know. So this is going to be a very free-form project, and I'm kind of anxious to get into it. This will be the parting line. This is going to be the head. This will be the face, and this will be kind of the neck. This carbide is making quick work with this. All right, that's probably about all I want to do with it in this position. And I'll go ahead and take this to about 90% parted, and then I'll cut the 2 pieces in half over on the bandsaw. For the whites of the eyes, we'll use this corian here, and I'll put that in like that, and I'll epoxy that into place. Or actually I'll use CA. It works very well with the corian. And then for the mouth, I'll put the sapelli in here and just wood glue that in there. And so I'll leave that for the night, and then I'll cut off this excess here, and we'll put this back on the lathe and get this turned smooth. Now for the pupils, I have smaller plugs here, and what I'll do is I'll center drill those once they are flush, and then I'll glue these inside there, and then I'll turn those down as well. I'll let this dry during the night. I came in this morning and I cut down the excess length on these plugs here, and then I countersunk them again and then put smaller plugs in there for the pupils and also for the mouth here. And I've got to do a nose here later. Now for the propeller, I was thinking about that. This is likely to get some abuse here, so I thought I would cut this out of a piece of brass. I've got some 1/8 inch brass in stock here, and I've laid out a real rough pattern, and I've got a couple brass pieces, and I'll just turn these, the brass here on my lathe. I'm not going to show the details of that. This is not a metalworking video. And for the propeller, this is going to be a combination of scroll saw and file and some belt sander work to get this down to the form that I'm looking for. Off camera, I did a little work on the metal lathe here. I made a post and a little propeller, and I've got a nose cone for the propeller. And I wanted this to be pretty hardy because this may go to a small person that I know, and it may get some rough treatment. So this will go into a 1/2 inch Forstner drilled hole in the top, and I'm going to epoxy it into the wood so that it's a nice rigid assembly. So next up, I'm going to head over to the lathe and I'm going to flip this thing around. I'll take it to its dome shape and I'll start working on that. And then I've got my eyes done here and the mouth, and I'm going to put a little nose on there. So I'll also mount that and get it cleaned up, and then I'll go to doing some painting and getting this thing put together. Down to a dome shape. Really happy. This wood, as green as it was, I don't see any real checking that's occurred here, so I may get lucky here with cracking. Just a little bit more, and I'll go ahead and sand out the insides. The form where I want it, The hat fits good, and I got the tool marks off the eyes and mouth. Our little propeller has about a 3/4 inch shank, and I designed it to go down a 1/2 inch, and so the thickness of the top here is right around 7/8 of an inch. So I need to take this about a 1/2 inch deep. I've divided the hat into 6 little pie pieces, and I am just going to score that just to give a little bit of dimension to this thing. When I'm painting wood with acrylics, I will usually put down a layer of white first, and it's like a primer, and it'll really make the colors pop that you put down. Sanding is finished. And what else? Boiled linseed oil. Well, I needed some orange, but I had no orange, so I just mixed my own. But this is like the worst orange ever. It looks sort of a shrimp color, sort of a peach color. That's all right. Peach colored nose will work out just fine, I think. It looks orange, kinda. Now that I've done all the work to get it painted, I'm just going to distress it a little bit. I don't want it to look like it was just made yesterday. So I'm just using this very light sandpaper. It'll bring out a little bit of the white that's underneath it. And just give it a little bit of an aged look. And then when I put the linseed on it, I think it'll look nice. Well, he's done. I'm not sure what to call this thing. Is it a mug jug? I don't know. It's looks kind of oriental to me in a way. It almost looks like something that you'd see in Japan, maybe. I made this thing so that it could suffer the abuse of small children here. So it's got this nice heavy brass propeller on the top of it. That thing should last well into the next millennia here. I like the colors. I think they turned out good. Using the green wood, I thought I would be more checky than it is, but I let it sit for about a month after I took the bark off of it, and I don't see any big cracks in it. There's some very, very light ones in the base, but you can barely see them, so I hope they don't get any bigger. We'll keep an eye on that. If you got a name you think we ought to call this thing, let me know what that is, and make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done that. I try to put a couple videos out every week when I'm here, and I try to keep them interesting.